Hello, I'm Azai. Welcome back to Sharin no Kuni, Himawari no Shoujo. It's been a couple of days since I played this. I still sort of remember where I left off, right? I think it was, damn, it's been 4 days already. But yeah, it was around when I said I wanted to finish up chapter 3, but I couldn't. Because there was, I guess there was like a break session from the tense moments, right? During the whole when Kyoko-san decided to change her attitude. It seems like something is going on now though, so hopefully it picks up fast, because it's definitely strange playing from a tense atmosphere and then suddenly it went lax. Like, I definitely felt it, you know? It felt super strange. Toka went back into her room right after she finished breakfast. I think the original parents, Toka's real parents, called her and asked if she wanted to go back or not with them. Right? To my knowledge, if I remember correctly. Hey.
何よ。入ってこないでよ。
I feel like she's a bit too naive. She's not bad, but her internal struggles are kind of not as deep as Sachi. At least so far. Maybe that was why I don't remember much about this chapter, right? Like, when I was younger, I definitely remember Sachi's chapter because it was making me annoyed. This one is kind of just indifferent. Lighten up a bit. Are you reading a gag manga by yourself again? Well, the current me feels like this is a bit indifferent. I don't know what I felt when I was younger. She looked a little depressed. Well, as I had expected. Did that phone call surprise you?
頭混乱しちゃったよ。
So, what do you think?
どうって？
I mean, your real mom and dad suddenly decided to call you, you know?
そんなこと聞いてどうするのよ。ごめん。私に気を使ってくれてるんだよね。
I think you should let things out every once in a while. She hadn't even expressed dissatisfaction from when she had learned that Kyoko-san wasn't her real mother. Toka cast her eyes downward for a moment.
お父さん、やっぱり優しそうだったよ。
Man, she's so gullible. I see.
前も電話かかってきたでしょ。その時と同じように私の名前を呼んで、今にも泣き出しそうに、それでいて安心したように。
That's good. It was difficult to connect that image to my image of the man who had sent that letter.
幸代さんに聞いたんだけど、お父さんもちょっと心に傷を負っている人みたいで、たまにおかしくなっちゃうこともあるんだって。
Seemed like a sound enough reason to me. You had grown up in the same house as Kyoko-san after all.
でも夫婦二人で頑張ってカウンセリングとか受けて立ち直ろうとしてるんだって。
How about your mom? She shuddered as soon as I said that word.
お母さん、幸代さんはなんだかキリッとしてた。丁寧な口調ではっきりと自分の言いたいことが言えてるって感じがした。
So she was cunning. That's what I think in my head when she says it like that.
私がオロオロしているのに、お父さんが普段はものすごくいい人だっていうことを強調してた。
Reassure you, huh? I see. She sounded like a decent enough person. You want to meet them? Toka averted her gaze from me.
お 母さんがなんて言うかな。
I don't think she'd oppose it. Just don't think about leaving home again, okay? I gave her a little smile, hoping to coax her into one of her own.
もうバカな真似はしないよ。
Kyoko-san is really important to you, huh?
なんかね、実感ないんだよ。今までずっとのんびり暮らしてきたのに、最近になって急に身の回りがゴタゴタしてる感じかな。
Well, you are under my supervision, and you are supposed to be part of my test.
お母さんがお母さんじゃないと思ったら、次は本当のお母さんが出てきて、ちょっと休ませてほしい。落ち着いてゆっくり考えたいよ。考えてもきっと答えなんて出ないんだろうけどね。
But you want to live with Kyoko-san, don't you?
うん。お母さんはお母さんだから、今までずっと一緒に暮らしてきたんだから、甘いものを禁止されて、毎日お弁当ばっかりで、たまに怒られて、最近は一緒にゲームして、とにかく一番実感があるのがお母さんだから。
Then you'll just leave things the way they are. Kyoko nodded, satisfied. Oh yeah, too bad about yesterday, huh? You know, Kyoko-san's cooking.
いいんだよ。
She sought to rebuke me, even though she was the one who had been looking forward to the event so much.
ちょっと昼寝しよっかな。
Tired already? You lazy bones.
うるさい、出てけ。
Yeah. I heard the sound of Toka diving into her bed as soon as I left the room. I guess she really had been tired. Toka didn't wake up until the afternoon.
どうか具合大丈夫？なんだか顔色が悪いわよ。
気のせいだよ。
Toka looked down at her own body with a hint of suspicion, however.
リンゴを食べる？
ありがとう。
I could understand just how much they cared about each other by listening to this conversation. I'd been a bit worried earlier, but it seemed that the One household was still trucking along.
こんにちは。
Ah, nice timing.
帰ります。
Why?
歓迎されるとは思わなかったので。
Poor thing. The cruelty of the world had twisted him.
いや、ほんと。優しさとかぬくもりとかやめてください。
磯野くん、ラブレターは受け取ったわよ。
Kyoko-san called out to him in the middle of peeling an apple.
もちろん、結婚してくれるんですよね。
磯野、いい加減しつこい。
しかし、京子さんも明確な返答をくれないんですよ。
いや、しつこいくらい無理だと言っているから。
そこをなんとか。
もう困った人ね。
僕はね、京子さん、人前で言うのもなんですが、神聖のド S なんですよ。
Right. What the?
ですので、京子さんみたいな危うい人が大好きなんですよね。
危うい？
ええ、限りなく黒に近い灰色といったところですかね。
まるで容疑者のように言うのね。
容疑者だなんてとんでもない。
Isona looked straight at Kyoko-san, an unusual air of severity hanging around him.
世の中には法律では罰せられない罪を犯している人がたくさんいるんですよ。この森田くんのように。
What was that?
そういう人を何というか知っていますか？
A dog?
犬以下です。
だから私は負け犬なんかじゃないわ。
じゃあ結婚してくださいよ。
なんでそうなるのかしら。磯野くんと話をしていると頭がおかしくなりそうだわ。
That's right, leave. Isona was rubbing me the wrong way today.
森田くんと差しで話がしたいな。
He cast a sidelong glance in my direction. Very well, let's take this outside.
喧嘩はやめなさいよね。
I followed Isona outside. Alright, I'm going to question you quite thoroughly today.
高等人の試験はどうだい？
And why would I tell you that?
気になるからだよ。 親友として。
What was he planning? Well, Toka's supervision is being dragged out a bit for reasons beyond my control, but it's going pretty well otherwise, I guess.
どうして高等人を目指してるんだ？
Who knows?
気になるな。とっとと話せよ。
If you want me to talk, then tell me what you're planning.
僕の目的はこの国を転覆させることだよ。
Hey, don't fucking joke around like that. You'll get locked up.
これが冗談じゃないんだよね。三郎さんが残した情報さえあれば、ある意味実現可能かもしれない。
Are you being serious?
君にはぜひ協力してほしいな。
I'm stunned, Isono. I've had you pegged as a crazy bastard for some time now, but this...
ところで、京子さんのことなんだが、
Listen to me.
あの人、相当無理してるんじゃないか？
Nice eye there.
だって、この前は異常にはっちゃけてたのに、今日は普通のお母さんだったぜ。人格大丈夫なのかな？
I think she's a lot unstable. Like, you're one to talk.
とにかく、京子さんを支えてやってくれ。
Yeah, I got it.
僕はしばらく家にこもって反乱の準備をしているから。
Oh, sorry.
僕はしばらく家にこもって反乱の準備をしているから。もう僕の助けを期待するなよ。
I didn't expect any to begin with. Then again, Kenichi, you have to remember, he helped you with Sachi. With, providing backup. He also helped you when we were trying to find Kyoko. Or trying to chase after Kyoko.
それじゃあな、ケン。
And so Isono left. Now I was convinced. I didn't know how or why, but he knew about me. I mean, of course. There's no he would act that
今日
way.
のご飯どうしようか。
If not.
私が作ってもいい？
どうかが？
お母さんに食べてもらいたくて。
そうね。ただ、
She looked toward the kitchen as casually as she could manage.
あまり食材もないから、また今度にしてもらおうかしら。
Maybe we should eat outside instead. Eat out instead. It's been a while. What say we get ourselves down to the shopping district? I threw Kyoko-san a bone.
それもいいわね。
Toka stared at me, then stared at Kyoko-san. Repeat ad nauseam. Nauseam? That's actually the first time I heard of this one. Okay, just basically repeatedly.
なら、ケンイチのおごりね。
Cheh. Well, I suggested it, so whatever. The shopping district was bathed in the orange light of dusk. We had decided to go to a sushi place. I'd come here with Sachi and Mana before. Those guys would eat until their stomachs burst, and then some. But these two were a bit different. Our meal finished, we pushed our way through the curtain back out onto the street.
そういえば私、ウニとかイクラとかダメだったのよ。
私もマグロとかサバとか全然ダメ。
Tuna is actually quite good. Sometimes, if it's a good quality tuna, it's good. If not, it's a bit too meaty. Mackerel's okay. Salmon's great. Sea urchin is weird. You gotta get used to the taste. So then, why exactly did we come to a sushi restaurant?
だってなんだか高級なものが食べたかったんだもの。
たまには生ものもいいかなって。
You guys are awfully upfront about things when you're not paying for them.
それにしても森田くんはお金持ちね。
What makes you say that?
さらっと大金を出したじゃないの。
Well, yes, I do have quite a bit of money. In fact, I have so much money that it would be a piece of cake for me to send your daughter to a culinary school.
そう？じゃあ娘をもらってくれるかしら。
Not even batting an eye, huh?
ちょっとお母さん。
ちょっとタチの悪い冗談だったかしら。
もう
何赤くなってるの？ ひょっとして本気なの？
そんなわけ。ほら、お父さんも料理上手なんでしょ？
Toka's hasty words pierced Kyoko-san to the core.
そうみたいね。
ごめん。
Not even Toka could fail to read Kyoko-san's response.
どうして謝るの？
いや、お母さんはお父さんとあんまり仲が。
Sorry about that. I don't know what disconnected on my USB.
いいのよ。
Come on. Why do things have to go and get so awkward all of a sudden? Alright guys, we need to get going. It's still summer, but the sun's starting to set earlier. However, Kyoko-san couldn't manage to hold her tongue.
もしそんなに料理を習いたいなら後期に教えてもらうといいわ。
それは。
帰りましょうか。
I was starting to worry about this family for reasons entirely unrelated to their obligation. I jammed some leftover sushi into my case and chased after the ones. It's not really our obligation though, Kenichi, to be fair. The phone was ringing off the hook when we returned. One Koki was probably the person at the other end.
どうか出て。
No matter how long we waited, the phone refused to stop ringing.
お父さんかな。
Most likely.
じゃあ、はっきり言うね。私はお母さんと一緒に暮らすって。
Kyoko-san's lips trembled, but she didn't manage to say anything.
もしもし、大根です。
A scream forced its way out of the receiver. Toka, I'm so sorry.
お父さん。
One Koki repeated his violent apology ad infinitum. His desperate voice filled the entire room.
もういいよ。何が何だかわからないけど、私は気にしてないから。手紙？わかったよ。お母さんにも私から言っておくね。そんなに謝られても。
I really do feel like this girl is really lacking in willpower. I think I felt this even when I was younger, which was pretty strange, right? You think when you're younger and you see someone like Toka, you'd be able to sympathize a lot more? But actually, no. Now that I'm a bit older, I do feel she's naive, a bit too much. But I think I might even dislike her when I was younger. Not as much as Sachi probably, but I don't know. Feels like she doesn't have any conviction, right? She doesn't have anything she believes in. She thinks she believes that she wants to live with her mom, but something can sway her so easily. The hand holding the receiver shook with tension.
お父さん。私、言わなきゃいけないことが。そうなんだ。
Say it.
どうか。
Kyoko-san stood at Toka's side, racked with anxiety.
だから、そっか。気持ちは、すっごい、嬉しいよ。でも私は、すごいね。お父さん、有名なんだね。ただ、
Toka was having difficulty finding a spot to cut in.
そんな、泣かないで。私のため、私のために、料理人に。
Kyoko-san clenched one of her hands into a fist and bit her lip. She was forcing herself to endure it.
そっか。
Toka's sighs were punctuated with frustration.
困るよ、お父さん。も 謝らないで。
I'm really the type that if someone does something ridiculously stupid, I will never accept their apology. You know, like, I'd probably just cut my ties with them. Instead of, like, basically just ignore them. Then again, Toka doesn't have bad memories with his family, or her family, sorry. So I don't know. I mean, if it took them 10 years to start wanting Toka back, I felt like that's a red flag. You know? I know therapy and trying to atone for your sins, trying to change takes a while, but after 10 years and they want them back, I don't know. At that point, do they really deserve her and become a whole family again? I doubt it. Toka turned to look at me. Her expression was one of great perplexity.
またお父さんのケーキ食べたいな。
Her idealized father was currently sobbing on the other end of the line because he wanted to make it up to her.
うん、私もお父さん好きだよ。うん、信じてる。今さら恨んだりとかしないよ。家族だし。
Oh, using the family excuse, huh? This might end up taking a while.
料理はね、私も好きだよ。甘いものも。
See, this is also the reason why I feel like the dad is not really even wanting to hear what she has to say. The dad is making her not able to say anything, which in turn just make me feel like he's trying to manipulate Toka into feeling sorry for him. Like, come on. That's basic manipulation tactic 101, especially against someone that doesn't have the ability to cut you in, or doesn't have the, you know, confidence to cut off what you're saying. And then you're just forced to listen to them. I wouldn't say that's a trait for a very good father. The phone call finally came to an end. Toka looked downward and said softly.
お母さん、ごめん。
She hadn't been able to say it. She hadn't been able to tell her dad that she had chosen Kyoko-san over him. Kyoko-san didn't respond. Like, I could kind of see the dilemma in this chapter, right? When someone you like tells you something about you and then you like what they're saying about you, it's kind of hard to tell them that, no, stop what you're doing. I don't need your shit, right? Basically, that might make them hate you. But sometimes that's a must, I feel. She just stared at Toka in silence. Let's get to sleep.
ケンイチもごめんね。
Why?
だって私が早く決めないと親権が決まらなくて義務も解消されなくてとにかく監督を長引かせちゃって。
Don't worry about it.
こんなはずじゃ。
I get that she understands what she's doing, but that doesn't mean that I accept her apology either. To be honest, if she keeps doing this shit, she really needs to change. She held her head in her hands. Well, then again, forcing someone to change is whatever, right? Not really my thing either, but... Kyoko-san walked over to Toka.
ごめんなさいね。家にお金がなくて。
So, I get it. Kyoko is trying to give her the push to just make Toka live with her original parents. And Toka's too dumb to actually see it. Man.
もう少しよく考えてみなさい。
何を？
Kyoko-san smiled.
私のように料理もしない、家計も管理できない女と、優しくて経済力もある血のつながった両親。
Toka choked down some saliva.
どっちを選ぶのかをね。
After saying this, Kyoko-san quietly retreated on her own room, to her own room.
どうしよ
Kyoko nearly jumped on top of me.
う。お母さん、怒っちゃったのかな
I don't think she's angry. She was probably sad though.
私、お母さんに嘘ついちゃったよ。
Things happen.
でも、お父さんね、すごい辛そうで、聞いていられなくて。
Then say it. Oh my god, you're pissing me off. I can't believe she's pissing me off a lot more than Sachi. Now. Back then, I don't know. Maybe I just skipped most of her stuff. Yeah.
一度はボロボロになった人生をね、私のために頑張ってくれてたんだって。立派な料理人になって、また私と一緒に暮らしたかったんだって。
Think logically. Think logically. Is it possible for someone to have that much? Is it possible to do something just for one person? I think he's just trying to manipulate you. Manipulate you. There you go. I highly doubt he's cooking just for Toka. I see. He must have been through a lot.
あの手紙はね、本当に魔が差したんだって。だから、やっぱりすごい優しい人なんだよ。
Would a nice person really lose control writing a letter? Are you fucking kidding me? It's a fucking letter. They're not seeing you face to face. They have all the time in the world. I just think she's retarded, dude. Yeah, true. I mean, nice people are usually the ones who end up blowing up like that. Just take a look at the newspapers.
だから、私、もう、わけわかんなくなっちゃって。
I do like how Kenichi is not saying anything so that it doesn't influence her choice, right? Because I guess Kenichi wants her to make her own choice. Great. Well, for now, you should get some sleep.
どうしよう。
Toka wasn't in a position to be concerned about anyone except herself. I decided to escort her back to her room. This could take a while. I wouldn't say she's a bad human being. Just like what Hozuki said, what a stupid girl. I placed the leftover sushi on the table and launched into one of my soliloquies. What should I do? Now that Toka's signature phrase, as it were, has entered the fray, this isn't going to be so easy. Man, and the obligation is already as good as cancelled. Well, that said, I'm sure Toka will end up choosing Kyoko-san. But how is Kyoko-san going to react to that? I kicked some ideas around while preparing some tea. Eventually, I reach a conclusion. Well, looks like some drastic measures are necessary. I didn't manage to get any sleep that night. Hey Toka, it's almost noon, you know? I'd come to check up on her, since she still hadn't gotten up. She was bundled up under her covers, showing no signs of coming out. What? Are you sick or something?
もうちょっとしたら起きる。
Do you need anything?
ビスケット。
Sweets as soon as you wake up,
う
huh?
るさい。その辺にあるから取ってよ。
Yeah. I moved her can of cookies from the table to the bed. Sit up while you eat, okay?
あと、蜂蜜ジュース。
What, mine?
美味しい。嬉しい。飲みたい。
Come on, act your age. Besides, do you know how expensive that stuff is?
ちょうだい。
A sudden onslaught of cuteness, was it? Okay, fine. I prepared some juice for her, making sure to click my tongue loud enough for her to hear it.
どうかの様子はどう？
Well, she's in higher spirits than I expected her to be at least. Kyoko-san let out a sigh of relief and allowed the tension to flee her body.
あの子、私に嘘をついてしまったって思ってるんじゃないかしら。
Yeah, she did say something along those lines yesterday.
気にする必要はないのに。
Why couldn't you also be honest about this shit, Kyoko? If you want her to live with you, then tell her, damn it. Kyoko-san, do you really intend to have Toka make the decision herself?
ええ、もちろんよ。
I think you should give her a bit of a push personally.
プッシュ？
Yeah, be all like, I won't hand my daughter over to anyone.
そうね。
Her response was indifferent. Response.
でも、私も10日に嘘をついてしまったし。
So she thinks of this as some sort of... what? Atonement? Are you kidding me? What do you mean by that?
おととい、料理を作るって言って作らなかったから。
Hey, you shouldn't dwell on stuff like that. Kyoko-san just shook her head.
10日には自分の母親を選ぶ権利があると思うのよ。
Yeah, that's perfectly sensible.
ダメかしら、こんな母親。
Kyoko-san, you haven't been sleeping much, have you? You got these huge bags under your eyes.
あらら。
You should go clean yourself up a bit, okay? Also, it'd be great if you could cook dinner tonight.
料理を？
You really want that lie to stay alive forever?
そうね。やってみるわ。
It's a promise then. Who knew she would follow through on it though?
おはよう、お母さん。
お寝坊さんね。さっさと顔洗ってきなさい。出かけるわよ。
どこに？
買い物よ。食材を買いに行かなきゃいけないでしょ。
じゃあ、今日は。
ええ。料理、作ってみるわね。
A smile bloomed on Toka's face.
急いで準備するね。
She ran into the bathroom.
森田くんも行く？
Sure, I don't trust you. I don't trust things are gonna go well without my supervision. Yeah, sure. Give me a bit though. I need to do my morning dance, muse over a haiku, and check my body for any stray hairs.
置いていくわよ。
まだまだ暑いね。
Well, she was wearing long sleeves after all.
クーラーでも買おうかしら。
I'm up for that.
でも、お金なかったわ。
I'll lend you the money. 1% interest per day. Oh my god.
あれ？ひなたさんじゃない？
Hey, don't ignore me. Wait, Nachan? Oh, it is Nachan. Hey. She was carrying a shopping bag.
皆さんお揃いで、どうもです。
You out shopping, Nachan? What'd you buy? Tell me.
おかずとか生活必需品とかですね。
You like shopping?
好きというか仕方なくですかね。
She's saying it's more like she has to do it. Yeah, dude, I know exactly what you mean. Isn't it such a pain having to go shopping for groceries all the time? That's why I always just grab some fast food.
お母さん、買い物を済ませちゃおうよ。
そうね。先に行ってるわよ。
I'm gonna talk with Nachan a bit longer.
私は行こう。
Toka just about dragged Kyoko-san into the store with her. So, how are things going recently? Anything happened?
いえ、別にぼーっとしているだけですから。
You don't ever goof off? You know, watching TV or reading manga or something. It's just about all Toka does nowadays, actually.
いえ、ずっと寝てますから。
Wait, I'm not bothering you, am I? Sorry, especially when it's this hot.
いや、うざいってほどじゃないですけど、元気だなって。
I just can't help but worry about you, you know? I'm like a mom whose son has gone off to school in the city or something.
森田さんはお母さんですか？
Her eyes lost even more of their light.
大根さんはお母さんと仲良さそうですね。
Kenichi, I don't think your stupid talks are getting through to her. What kind of question is that? Was she envious of Toka?
いや、別に。
Nothing. Really?
へーって思うだけです。私には関係ないですから。
Depressing from head to toe she was.
よく似てますよね。
You think so? Kyoko-san was always on edge, but Toka was pretty easygoing.
顔とか目鼻立ちとか。
Well, they are mother and daughter after all. Wait, huh?
どうかしました？
No, nothing. Yeah, they sure do resemble each other, huh? Physically and all. Toka had been born to One Koki and One Sachio. One Koki was Kyoko's younger brother, so that would make Kyoko-san Toka's aunt. Well, in that case, it wasn't really strange that they looked alike, was it? Ah, I get it. Yeah, makes sense.
それじゃあ私はこれで。
I'll walk you home.
いいです、いいです。
Actually didn't know that we were gonna meet Nachan here. Natsumi held both arms out in front of her and slowly backed away from me. Man, you don't need to run away from me.
さようなら。
Ah, she left. Jeez, she must really hate my guts. She did take the time to talk to you though, Kenichi. I loitered around outside in a suspicious fashion until Kyoko-san and Toka came out of the store. Could you take any longer?
ああ、なんかやさぐれてるやつがいるよ。
He went to demon.
お母さんにアイス買ってもらってたんだよ。
Darn, I want some too.
まるで子供ね。
Kyoko-san's bag was absolutely bursting with stuff. Kyoko-san, hey, Kyoko-san. Does the way I'm loitering around outside remind you of anything? Does it remind you of when you were a hiker chick?
だからそれは森田くんの勘違いだって。
お母さん、こんなやつ放っておいてさっさと帰ろう。
そうね。
Yeah, okay. God, you're harsh.
どうか？
Huh? Kyoko-san abruptly shouted at Toka. Toka stopped in her tracks right in front of the kitchen.
どうしたの？
私が作るからあなたは森田くんと遊んでなさい。
She really didn't want her entering that kitchen.
私もお母さんの手伝いをしたいよ。
それは嬉しいけど。
この前ね、ケンイチと川辺で練習してたの。結構美味しくできたんだよ。昔私がお母さんの料理の邪魔して、それで勝手に痛い目にあって。
Toka fingered her sleeve, right where her burn would have been.
それでお母さんが私のこと心配して台所に入るのを禁止しているのはわかるんだけど、もう大丈夫だから。
どうか。
あ、でもお母さんがそれでもダメって言うなら私はいいよ。
You'll repress even more of your feelings then. Toka, you don't need to keep holding back. She's not using your obligation to prevent you from entering the kitchen.
いいの。
So she would honor Kyoko-san's wishes to the end then. Kyoko-san slowly opened her mouth.
ごめんね。どうか。今日は私が頑張って作ってみるから楽しみに待ってて。
Why? Why don't you just prepare dinner together like a normal happy family? I always end up taking Toka's side, huh? Are you really truly that frightened that she'll have a relapse? Well, that said, I knew that Toka didn't want me to stick up for her like this, but I did anyway. Okay, sure, if you both go into the kitchen together, it'll be the same sort of situation as when she got burned. Something just didn't seem right, you know? That was an accident, wasn't it? Kyoko-san was being way too stubborn about this.
ケンイチ、ちょっと落ち着いて。
That snapped me back to my senses. I realized that I was standing right in front of Kyoko-san, glaring down at her. I quickly averted my gaze, panicked.
あのね、ケンイチは特別高等人を目指しているだけあって、今までものすごい速さで成長してきたのかもしれないよ。 ケンイチっていつも物事を理論立てて考えてるみたいだし、落ち込んでも立ち直りが早そうな、そんな強い人みたいだけど。でも私たちは普通の親子だから、もっとゆっくりなんだよ。私たちには私たちのペースがあるんだよ。
Wow, she's actually talking some sense. That said, should you guys really still be dwelling on something that happened so long ago? Just how long were they planning on dragging this out? I inadvertently shot Kyoko-san a look filled with criticism. Kyoka noticed it. She grabbed my arm.
ケンイチ、
森田くん、ごめんなさい。
Well, we sure weren't getting anywhere. No, I should apologize for sticking my nose where it doesn't belong.
いいえ、あなたは10日が不憫に思えたんでしょ？
I waved my hand in the air, hoping to brush aside her line of inquiry. Anyway, hurry up and fix us some food. Fix me some food. By the way, I'm...
グルメなんでしょ？まったく厚かましいんだから。
Oh, just shut up. I'll make mince meat out of you. I pointed at the video game console in front of the TV.
ケンイチ、ゲームできるの？
I can do anything after all. I'll allow you the honor of playing with me until dinner is done.
偉そうにぶっ殺してやる。
Kyoko-san, your daughter is acting like a barbarian again.
え？何のこと？何も聞こえなかったけれど。
Oh, fine. I give up. Toka and I turned the TV on while Kyoko-san carried ingredients into the kitchen. Toka seemed happier than she had been earlier, probably because she was going to get to eat her mom's home cooking. Will she, though? I don't know. Time wore on, and soon it was dusk. Man, this game is brutal as hell. It was one of those fighting games thingamajiggers. The system was pretty simple. You had different abilities and movement options depending on the character you chose. You basically just had to get the timing down, then predict what your opponent was trying to do, and you could simply use whatever the right move for the situation was. However, I was paying the most attention to something that wasn't on the screen. Whoa, what the hell are you doing, dumbass? Whenever our matches in the game became particularly heated, Toko would start raining blows down upon me in real life as well.
この
You idiot, look at the screen!
うるさいうるさい。直接ケンイチを殴った方がすっきりするんだ。
Yeah. There's no way I'd ever be able to like Toka, sadly. Not my kinda character. She had a pretty scary look in her eyes. I don't think I hate her. I just don't like her though. Mom, is the food ready yet?
無視するな。もう一度勝負だ。
I was at my wit's end dealing with this kid. I could smell the enticing aroma of various spices from the kitchen.
下手な料理なんて誰も食べてくれないのよ。
Kyoko-san was sure taking her sweet time, but she really did seem to be putting her all into it.
ケンイチムカつく、ケンイチムカつく。
I've had just about enough of you. It's just a game. We both fell silent as soon as the phone started ringing.
どうしよう。
What should we do? What the hell else is there to do except answer the damn thing?
どうか、私今ちょっと手が離せないから。
Go on. Tell him clearly what you couldn't tell him yesterday.
そうだよね。言わなきゃダメだよね。
Toka went to pick up the phone, muttering under her breath all the while. I'm going to live with Mom. She repeated that phrase over and over, as if it were a charm of some sort.
もしもし。あ、お父さん？あ、うん。いいよいいよ。昨日は私も長話しちゃって。それでね。お母さん？変わる？わかったよ。ちょっと待ってて。
I have a feeling this is gonna be something along the lines of, if you give her, I'm gonna give you money or some shit. I don't know. I'm just, like I said, I don't remember much about the story on this one. So I'm just about as clueless as you guys are. Toka placed her father on hold and set the receiver down.
私
Kyoko-san came out of the kitchen, doubt painted across her face.
お母さんと話したいって、いろいろ謝っておきたいって。
Or maybe not. If he decided to do that, that would be counterproductive to what he's doing right now. So probably not. Probably something else then. But I don't know what. Kyoko-san soundlessly picked up the phone. Did it sound like he was having a rough time of things?
とにかくお母さんに謝りたいって。そしてできれば一度会って話がしたいって。
I guess he really was trying to make amends. Kyoko-san was conversing with him surprisingly calmly. I could barely make her out.
ええ、あなたも変わったようね。そう。私は変わらないわ。今、幸せなの？一流レストランのシェフ？働き者で優しい妻もいるの？すごいじゃないの。まるで別人ね。
There was just a hint of malice in her words. It would be most apt to compare Kyoko-san to a glass filled to the very brim with water. I was getting nervous just watching her.
それで、どうかも自分のところへ戻ってくれば、完全な幸せを手に入れられるとでも思ったの？
お母さん？
Kyoko-san's expression grew more and more grim.
親権の回復を裁判所に申し立てておいて、どちらの親を選ぶのかを10日に任せるなんて、ちょっとずるいと思わない？
Kyoko-san must have had quite the history with Koki-san to be this harsh with him. Was she going to come out of this today? Was she going to come out of this okay? She then saw fit to pour oil upon the fire of my doubts.
黙りなさい！あなたとの縁なんてとっくに切れてるのよ！今さら謝られても許すことなんてできるわけないでしょ？
The stench of burning meat wafted in from the kitchen.
あなたが10日に義務を負わせたんでしょ？そしてそんな10日を私に押し付けて逃げたんでしょ？
お母さん、もうやめて。
Kyoko-san flung the receiver down as hard as she could. Toka approached Kyoko-san and grabbed her arm.
お母さん、ご飯食べよう。ね。
Kyoko-san just stared off into space, a terribly empty expression on her face.
今日は野菜炒めなのかな？いい匂いがするね。
I thought it smelled of burned meat. Toka managed to smile amid the overwhelming heater of the burning meal.
そうだ、ご飯炊いた？まだ炊いてないよね。というか、炊飯器ってうちになかったよね。はあ、うっかりしてたね。
You can just boil it on a pot, though.
早く決めなさい。何をですって？わかるでしょ？どっちの親を選ぶか決めろと言っているのよ。
そっか。
Toka hunched over and forced herself to laugh. I took one glance at them, then rushed into the kitchen to turn off the gas. The contents of the frying pan Kyoko-san had been cooking with no longer resembled that which we call a meal. All it held was a blackened lump that you could hardly call meat or vegetable.
森田君、それ捨ててちょうだい。
Kyoko-san screamed at me from behind.
そんな豚でも食べないようなもの、誰が食べてくれるって言うの
？Nah, pigs would probably still eat it.
私、
I tossed the contents of the frying pan into the garbage can before Toka could say anything further. Kyoko-san had failed at cooking again today. The One family's dining table remained unchanged. They weren't taking it slowly. They weren't proceeding at their own pace. They were frozen solid. Or perhaps they were moving backwards.
トーカ、あなたが決めるのよ。自分で考えて、私と後期のどちらを選ぶのか決めなさい。いい加減に誰かにすがるような生き方。
Or she's gonna force her to choose, She didn't finish her sentence. Kyoko-san's eyes, once narrow, were now open very wide indeed. She took a step back, because she was so weak. She took another step back, and another.
私の子供じゃない。
She fled from the dining table like an animal pursued by hunters. Toka offered no response. She merely stood in place. Well, yeah, I guess the main blame of this whole situation is not really Toka, right? She's kind of a typical child, but she's in fucking high school, dude. But I guess even when you're in high school, you have lots of doubts with yourself. Can't make decisions. But I don't know. She had been left behind. It would have been natural for her to cry. But she didn't. Her chest quivered and her breathing grew ragged. But she did not cry. Not a sound burst forth from those trembling lips. This was odd. I had put Toka to bed earlier. I was now lost in thought. I couldn't get the spectacle of Kyoko-san's utter fright out of my head. She couldn't seem to distance herself from Toka's situation. As a result, she was unable to control herself when it really counted. Or, like I said, she might even be forcing Toka to choose based on her reaction, right? Like I said, she might be giving the push that she... Basically, she wants Toka to really choose for herself instead of trying to stick with the status quo and making her feel comfortable with this situation. She dwelt on the past so much that she could not even allow her daughter to cook. She could not even allow her daughter into the kitchen. Or maybe I'm giving her too much credit and she's basically, like what Kenichi's saying, she's basically just weak. She's a troubled individual. I stared at the house and went through the situation once more. The One family consisted of a high-ranking government official and his wife and children. Kyoko-san and her brother Koki-san had grown up being treated coldly by their mother. When Kyoko-san's obligation had been cancelled, she went wild. She had ended up having to abort a child. Koki, who had left home earlier, had ended up marrying a woman named Sachio, with who he had produced Toka. Koki had assigned Toka her obligation, and had lost his right to parental authority. And then Kyoko-san, Toka's aunt, had become her legal guardian. And here we stood now. Toka's real parents, Koki and Sachio, had managed to obtain gainful employment and were working hard to rebuild their life together. They had applied to recover their parental authority, but had stated that they would withdraw said application if Toka decided that she wanted to live with Kyoko-san instead. Man, this is some complicated shit. There was no doubt that Kyoko-san had grown slightly deranged due to the mistreatment she had received from her parents, and the stress she had experienced due to having to raise Toka. I could understand that she was feeling quite shaken up due to Toka's real parents showing up, out of the blue, and threatening to take Toka away from her, right when Toka and Kyoko-san had made up, no less. Timing's too perfect, isn't it, Kenichi? Definitely something to do with Hozuki. That said, I couldn't excuse her weakness. It was possible that she was still concealing something from us. Hozuki, like, I feel like Hozuki actually gave Koki the job. You know, just suddenly giving him the job so he can do this shit. I feel like if we actually give Toka away to their real parents, quote-unquote, I feel like we would fail the exam. That's how I see it. Perhaps the reason why my supervision of Toka had not yet ended could have been attributed to the fact that the One family as a whole had yet to be rehabilitated in the truest sense of the word. I took a draught from my pipe and stared up at the midsummer night sky. Sorry, One-chan. This is going to take a little longer. What an annoying family. Like, Kenichi's not a fucking psychologist, right? Well, to be fair, Kenichi has barely done anything in this one, hasn't he? Compared to Sachi's chapter, this one felt like they were just doing their own thing, right? It feels like we're being strung along, you know? And I don't like that feeling. Pop summoned me first thing in the morning. He wished to discuss the matter of Toka's parental authority. I brought Kyoko-san and Toka with me. Night. Sorry about that. Had to cuff. Neither of them had spoken a word the entire way here.
早く解決していただきたい。
Hosuke glared at Kyoko-san.
娘の親権問題をめぐって森田の特別高等人の試験が遅延しているのです。
すみません。
So, putting more pressure on Kyoko, huh? She bowed her head in apology. Hosuke probably saw Kyoko-san as something like an insect. After all, she was delaying an official state exam with her own petty family matters.
今すぐに決めていただけませんか。そのために呼び出したのです。
それは。
Please wait, sir. You're still working out a few problems. I think it would be prudent to observe the situation for a bit longer. A slamming sound resonated throughout the room.
個人ののろまな足並みにペースを合わせていたら社会が成り立たん。
That's true. Toka was beyond frightened. Hosuke pointed his cane at her forehead.
決めろ。
Kyoko-san was also stricken with fear. She couldn't move a single step. She couldn't even attempt to protect her daughter.
どちらの親だ。大根京子か。大根幸喜か。お前は森田に迷惑をかけている。お前の親は人様に迷惑をかけてはいけないと教え育てなかったのか。
Hosuke attempted to force Toka to decide with a mixture of violence and intimidation.
私は
This was the guy you trusted a couple of days ago, by the way, Toka. What a fool. Toka tried desperately to force something, anything from her throat.
お母さんがいいです。
どちらのお母さんだ。実の母親か。京子か。いいのかそれで。実の母親を捨てるというのだな。悲しむぞ。血のつながった我が子に裏切られるのだからな。お前のために必死で働いてカウンセリングも受けて人生をやり直したというのに。
What an asshole.
そんな。
それでもいいのか。京子もひどい人間だ。なぜ娘を本当の両親のもとに返してやろうとしないのだ。
You know, a couple of days ago, I heard that you were complimenting Kyoko, Hosuke. Man, to the average person, Hosuke's intimidation would not be effective at all. But Toka is so stupid that she could not even put two and two together.
決めろ。
Hosuke was acting strangely. He was telling her to decide, but purposely trying to make her waver in that decision.
どうしよう。
Toka looked back and forth from Kyoko-san to me.
あなたの好きなようになさい。
でも。
This BS again, dude. Toka shivered like a small animal about to be eaten. Give me 3 days. As soon as I said that, Hosuke nodded. It was like he already knew.
それまでにお前が決めさせるというのだな。
Yes. If I fail to do so, then you may consider it a failure in my exam as well.
よかろう。急げ。
He finally lowered the cane he had been pointing at Toka.
もう帰っていいの？
Yeah. You two can go on ahead.
失礼しました。
Kyoko-san and Toka hung close to each other and left the room. What was all that about? I started asking questions as soon as the door closed behind them. If you really wanted her to choose someone, you could have made her, right?
娘の意思を尊重しただけだ。
Stop joking around. I tried to make my voice as menacing as possible, but Hosuke was having none of it. He just shook his head at me.
そしてその意思が脆弱なものであるという、その過程を森田の高額のために見せておこうと思ったのだ。あの娘はこれから迷い出す。 どちらの親を選ぶのか。正解のない問題に直面して慌てふためく。高等人はそんな愚かで歩みの遅い人間を導いていかねばならん。
In other words, I had played right into Pop's hands.
3日以内だ。必ず決めさせろ。人に決断させられない人間は人の上に立てんぞ。
I left the room with my fist trembling. It's not hard to force Toka into choosing. It's definitely not hard. But is it really the thing we should do to make her grow as a person? I don't know. Probably not, but... I mean, when you gotta do it, right? Toka was already on the phone when I got back home.
元気は元気だよ。特に問題はないかな。
A call right after we went home, huh? I think that's planned.
ご飯？ちゃんと毎日食べてるよ。いや、外食が多いかな。あとお弁当。料理はあんまりしないね。
So, tempting Toka with sweet home-cooked meals, also one of her weaknesses. I didn't see Kyoko-san in the living room.
甘いものが好きかな。子供だし。お母さん。あなたは？
Almost calling her mom, huh? Toka was in the middle of conversation with Sachio.
電話は迷惑じゃないよ。お母さんも止めないよ。だから、いつでも電話してくれていいよ。いいけど、
To be fair, if I was in Kyoko's like perspective, in her point of view, if I saw Toka having happy conversations with the family that she's supposed to belong, I would probably be irked. Is that a word? Irked? I think it is, right? Yeah, I probably would be very, irritated. Because it feels like she's showing off that happiness, right? We gotta look in the perspective of Kyoko, from Kyoko's perspective. It's definitely really, really irritating when it feels like you're just showing off your happiness to other people, flaunting your happiness like that. I detected a hint of hesitation in Toka's voice. Kosuke's words earlier seemed to have affected her.
子供とかいないの？そう。新しい子、私の妹とか弟とか。そんな、そこまで私のこと。
What were they talking about? It didn't seem like they had any more children yet, but...
会いたい。私も一度会ってみたいよ。でも、お母さんがちょっと悲しむかなって。ごめんなさい。いいんだよ。私バカだから何も覚えてないよ。虐待なんてそんなのなかったんだよ、きっと。
Trying to... I don't know. Feels like she's just trying to... You're probably attempting to apologize to her about the abuse in the past.
田舎町だからね。こっちの住所もわからなかったんでしょ。だから、気にしてないよ。そんな、今更だなんて思ってないよ。声聞けて、嬉しいよ。二人とも生きていてくれて、嬉しいよ。
Yeah, I'm not even Kyoko and I feel like this is disgusting. I don't want to hear this conversation. Toka sought solace in the arms of others. She had lived her entire life under the thumb of her mother, so perhaps that was a natural conclusion. But would a girl like that be able to make this decision? Probably not. That was an abrupt change in BGM. Toko was on the phone for nearly an hour.
どうしよう。
How'd it go?
ケイチ、
She ran up to me.
私、わかんなくなってきちゃった。
Hmm?
子供、作らないんだって。
Why?
私が一番大事だから、私だけをしっかり育てたいんだって。昔、私にひどいことをしてたから、せめて私を幸せにしてから次の子供を作りたいんだって。
That's also manipulation, Toka. What the hell? That just means that if you don't go with them, they're not gonna have another child, right? That's like forcing you to play your cards. She didn't even pause to take a breath.
もちろん義務なんか使わずにだよ。向こうに行くことになっても義務はなくなるって。
Well, that's a given.
がっかりするだろうな。口には出さないけど、私にそばにいてほしいんだろうな。
I mean, your mom will also be disappointed. What the fuck? Who cares if you disappointed people you don't care about? God fucking damn it, this girl pisses me off. I guess it was time to try a few things. Are they speaking ill of Kyoko-san perchance?
言わないよバカ。そんな人たちじゃないんだよ。
She was starting to trust them. Sorry. Why don't you go live with them? You can have your dad teach you how to cook. She held her breath. You'll never be able to learn it properly if you're not allowed in the kitchen.
それはそうだけど、でもお母さん、京子お母さんが私を今まで育ててくれたんだから。
Kyoko Kasan was it? I think they should have translated it like that. Yeah, Kyoko-san would be left all alone if you went to live with them. She couldn't control her sobs.
みんな一緒に暮らすっていうのはダメかな。
Are you fucking retarded? Do you hear how much venom Kyoko was saying to Koki yesterday? Have you forgotten how Kyoko-san acted yesterday? Exactly. She started acting like that just because she had to talk to Koki.
うまくいかないね。
I felt like sobbing a bit myself. You have to choose one or the other.
うん。
Toka sucked off into her room, her shoulders drooping. I think I understand why I found this whole situation a bit forgettable when I was still a kid. The whole dilemma of this chapter is basically you're never gonna be able to make everyone happy, right? But I already knew that when I was younger, like a lot younger. There's no possible way you can make everyone happy. So you just gotta choose who you want to make happy. The people you're close with. Not that I have any people that I was close with back when I was still like in middle school. So to me, it felt even more like useless piece of moral message in the story. That's probably why I don't remember much about this story in chapter 3. Kyoko-san came out of the room, taking Toka's place. I was a bit reluctant to tell her, honestly. Toka is in her room if you wish to speak to her. Ask her directly, damn it.
昨日のことを怒ってるの？どうかに向かって声を荒げてしまった私を。
I see. I didn't really see it, but Toka was depending on us, right? But Kyoko is starting to depend on us too by not even wanting to ask Toka herself. Man, I just don't get you. I made eye contact with her. I mean, like, okay, so just a little while ago, you were all like, "Oh, Toka, I'm so sorry for being so strict with you. I'll take it easy from now on." But yesterday you came out with "You're not my child." Seriously, that's crossing the line.
分かっているわよ。
She was feeling sorry for herself.
でも、うまく感情のコントロールができなくて。
She looked down, breaking eye contact. Fine then. If you can't control yourself, why don't you just return Toka to her original parents?
それは。
She snapped her head back up. You don't want that to happen, do you? Then why don't you go talk about it with Toka? She's in her room, like I said.
あの子、怒ってないかしら。私、軽蔑されてないかしら。
How troublesome. Come to think of it, it's almost your birthday, right?
ええ、忘れていたけど。
It's 3 days from now, right? Toka's really looking forward to it.
そう、少し嬉しいわね。
I guess that's gonna be the climax, huh? We did say it was gonna be 3 days to Pops. She started blushing. Then why don't you show Toka how happy that makes you? I don't care if you do it by fooling around even. I'll help you out.
もう、そんな気分じゃないのよ。
Says the person who kept saying oh my and acting like a doting parent.
あれは所詮、お遊びだから。
Playing around is important as are smiles. My words didn't get through to her. She shook her head at me and retreated back into her room. My eyes went to the telephone. Kyoko-san and Toka lived in the same house, but the difference between them was as wide as a canyon. It was almost time for dinner. It had been quite some time since Kyoko-san had applied for the cancellation of Toka's obligation. However, she still had yet to cook a meal. Kyoko-san, ready for dinner? I tapped lightly on her door.
今日は気分が悪いので、いらないわ。
No, I mean, make some dinner. Yeah, it's not about you. There was a
ご
pause.
めんなさい。今日は。
I went to Toka's room. Hey, come on out for a second. This feels like I'm dealing with 2 Sachis, dude. But instead of, like, pure rebellion, Sachi is rebelling, right? This is... It feels like I'm in a freaking circle jerking, you know, like, ugh. Fucking... This house is stupid. I heard a muffled voice from the other side of the door.
何？
I thought you guys were gonna buy a rice cooker at some point. Can't really cook without one.
今日はいい。なんか、お腹痛い。
Eh? How does it hurt?
うるさい。
Huh?
いいから、あっち行ってよ。
Ah, maybe it was that time of the month. Sure, Kenichi. Fine, fine. I'll go shopping by myself. I'd probably end up eating by myself too. Itadakimasu. Oh my god, Sachi, what are you doing here? Did we actually invite you?
なんで？ここ、10日の家だよね。なんで家主がいないのに、私たちが勝手に飯食ってんの？
Well, I brought you here for a little project, you see. I want you to cheer up Toka with your energetic type abilities.
そういうこと。いきなり炊飯器持って部屋に来て、ちょっと来いやとか言うから何かと思った。
So, you understand what's going on?
どうか元気ないの？
Well, some stuff has happened recently.
私、深いの苦手だよ。内面とか精神とか心の機微とか。
I kind of like this, you know? Like, after we're done with this chapter, with Sachi's chapter, we actually sorta still try to converse with her. And in fact, we even try to, you know, we kind of depend on her if you see it from another way. That's nice. It's not like the game totally forgot about Sachi as a character after all this. Yeah, that's fine. Just say whatever comes to mind. Sachi stared off into the space for a bit, thinking.
ま、いっか。私が絵を描いてる時も、10日には応援してもらってたしね。
Alright, enough talk. Have at her.
ウィッ。
Sachi barged into Toka's room without bothering to knock.
こんちゃー。
Toka didn't move a muscle. Sachi's intrusion must have startled her something fierce.
何何？なんか悩みがあるの？どうしたのサチ？いいから話してみ。
Sachi leaned against the wall and crossed her arms.
ケンイチ、サチに何か話したの？何も聞いてないって。いいからほら、思ってること言いなよ。
Sorry.
何も聞いてないって。いいからほら、思ってること言いなよ。私が一番わかりやすく解決してあげるから。
She opened her mouth hesitantly.
ほらほらほら。
Toka sighed, resigned to her fate.
私のお母さんってね。実はお母さんじゃなくて、本当は別のお母さんがいて、そのお母さんとお父さんが私が一緒にいればいいって思ってて、でもお母さんが寂しくなっちゃうだろうからどうしようって話。もう一回言って。
Yeah, that's very confusing.
だからお母さんが2人いて、お母さんとお父さんお母さんがちょっと仲が良くなくて、それでお母さんがいいのかお父さんお母さんがいいのかどうしようって話。だいたいわかった。ただちょっともう一回言ってくれる？ごめん、私こういうのを筋道立てて話すの苦手で。
You're more than just bad. What was that shit?
大丈夫大丈夫。お母さんと別のお母さん夫婦が喧嘩気味で、私がどっちか決めなくちゃいけなくて、それでお母さんのあれがこうで。どうかって私より国語ダメなんじゃない？
Now that you mention it, Sachi pondered her fist into her palm.
まあ要するに京子先生が東花のお母さんじゃなくて別のお母さんと本当のお父さんのあれがちょっとまずい系で、その辺シビアにどうすんのってことでしょ？
No, she had no idea what Toka had just said, did she? No, that's exactly what she's saying.
そうなんだよ。
My god, they could understand each other.
どうすればいいかな。
She started looking at Sachi with different eyes.
よーし、そんなの簡単じゃん。
Huh?
お金がある家を選ぼう。
Ah, you fucking idiot. Hey now.
向こうの家の方がお金あるのかな？それはそうだと思う。二人とも働いてるらしいし。
She didn't sound very interested.
でも東花も町を出たいって言ってたじゃん。ほら川辺で騒いだ時さ、料理の専門学校に行きたいって。やりたいことやろうとするとお金かかるよ。私も最近ギャンブルやめちゃったからマジで貧乏だしね。そういうお金につられてみたいなのはちょっと。何それ？世の中にはお金より大事なものがあるっての？そういう決まり文句こそ貧乏を経験したことのない何よりの証拠だよ。これ偉い人の名言ね。
Okay, Sachi.
東花がこの町を出るってのは私も寂しいよ。でも人間自分がやりたいことをやるのが一番だって。一生懸命やってればそのうちきっとお金より大事なものがゲットできるんだって。
Wow, she's really confident, huh? I guess we really did rehabilitate her in chapter 2. This is actually good, other than the fact that she would choose like the one with more money, this is actually good advice.
でも私そこまで料理を。
She trailed off in the middle of her sentence and looked up at Sachi with imploring eyes.
サチみたいにそこまで真剣なのかどうかわからないし、才能だってあるかどうか。いや、その辺私にもわかんないけど。
Sachi smiled broadly. It was a bit out of place in my opinion.
好きならいいじゃん。やってみなって。
Out of place as it was, that smile of hers managed to put both Toka and myself at ease.
なんかありがとね。こういうのってみんな気を使ってうかつなこと言わないかと思ったけど、サチは友達だもんね。
Exactly, like, The way I see it though, Kenichi probably would have said something along the lines like Sachi, but he doesn't want to manipulate Toka, right? I feel like Kenichi is smart, you know? Like, it's possible that Toka would depend a lot on Kenichi and would just listen to what Kenichi's saying instead of actually thinking for herself. But if it comes from someone like Sachi, it might sound like really good advice, which it basically has less weight, right?
いや、思ったことを情け容赦なく口にしただけだから。大変だろうけど、そういうのって実は答えが決まってたりすると思うんだよね。え？わかんない。とにかく頑張れってこと。よく考えてみる。じゃあ、私帰るね。あとは健一とごゆっくり。
You're leaving already?
ちょいと仕上げが残ってるから。
She tore out of the room, waving a hand behind her.
またね。
Should I walk you home?
いい。そんなことより、トウカについててあげなよ。
Sachi made a rather complicated expression. What's wrong?
まずいこと言ったかなって。
You think so?
だって最後さ、トウカが私のこと気遣ってくれたじゃん。サチは友達だもんねって。
Yeah.
優しいよ、マジで。余計に悩ませちゃったかも。
Nah, you're just overthinking it. Well, probably.
家族の深そうな問題でしょ。結構追い込まれてると思うんだよ。私だったら、あんたに何がわかんのよって打ち切れてるよ。
Probably, dude. She's feeling driven into a corner.
見た目より全然ヤバそうだよ。
I see. Thanks.
じゃあね。
Later, Sachi left. I realized the significance of Sachi's words when I returned to Toka's room. Toka was so busy fretting over things that she hadn't even noticed my entry. Toka. Well, contemplation like this, you know, like something... I see this as something simple, but that doesn't necessarily mean Toka sees this as something simple. I definitely understand that, and Kenichi probably also was thinking along those lines when Sachi said that, I suppose.
Kenichi...
Don't rely on me though, Toka. She approached me just a tad unsteadily.
サチの言う通りなのかな。私、好きな料理するために都会に行くべきなのかな。でも、自分のことばっかり考えてていいのかな。いや、サチみたいに才能があって真剣ならそういうのもいいと思うんだよ。違う。別にサチと私を比較してもしょうがないんだけど、なんていうか、よくわかんない。
Just like Sachi had said, Toka was worrying about this way more than I had anticipated. You're not going to choose Kyoko-san?
わかんなくなっちゃった。
Just because Sachi said to choose the one with more money. Ignore what I said. Ignore what I said. She's still depending on others instead of thinking for herself. She was completely
お
lost.
母さんと一緒に暮らすつもりだったけど、向こうのお父さんとお母さんの声聞いてるうちに、なんだかかわいそうになってきて。
But won't you just start feeling sorry for Kyoko-san if you choose them?
そうなんだよ。だから困ってるんだよ。
You're pissing me off, Toka. Please. She was about to burst into tears.
お母さん、京子お母さんは私を今までずっと育ててくれたのに。
Remember that part when you almost killed her by sentencing her to a concentration camp? Yeah, I totally remember that, but you suddenly just forgot about it, huh? Don't you wanna, like, return the favor or something, Toka? However, Kyoko-san is a bit unstable, right?
疲れてるんだよ。最近はいろいろなことがあったから。
We weren't making any progress here. Maybe it would have been best to just follow Pop's lead and try to force her to choose one or the other. I was gonna fail this thing if she didn't decide in 3 days after all.
ケンイチ、どうしよう。何かいい方法ないかな。
Actually,
何？
if she were a puppy, her tail would have been wagging right about now. It would have been all too easy to make her do exactly what I wanted her to do. You should think about things in the morning. Nighttime is for sleeping, not thinking.
何それ。
I could see that I had disappointed her from the bottom of her heart. We still have time. Talk to Kyoko-san. Talk to your other parents over the phone. Try cooking some food, whatever. Just try doing as much as you can.
ケンイチの役立たず。
She puffed out her cheeks. Well, I can make it so you never wake up if you want.
いいよ、もう。
That's a dark joke, Kenichi. Jesus. Toka flung herself onto her bed. See you tomorrow. But her utterly despondent sigh weighed heavily on my mind as I left her room.
森田くん、ちょっといいかしら。
Kyoko-san was still Toka's mom, no matter how much trouble she was causing her. I brought you a rice cooker for your birthday. I bought you.
ありがとう。
So what is it?
10日のことなんだけど。
I'm sure it is. Not like there's much point in talking about the weather, eh?
真面目に聞いてよ。
Let me tell you something. Your worries are totally insignificant in the face of what I have to deal with every day. I can never quite be sure if the world is going to end tomorrow or not, you know? Keeps me awake at night.
もう。
Now, if you'll excuse me, it's time for my body purification ritual. Please do not disturb me.
悪かったわ。私ももっと心に余裕を持てって言いたいんでしょ。
Yeah, you got it. I'd have started questioning that degree of yours, if you hadn't really. Just a bit of dignity crept into her expression. Kyoko-san, now is the perfect time to use your obligation.
え？
Order her to stay with you.
ふざけないでよ。もう義務なんかに頼らないって決めたのに。
There's nothing wrong with taking the easy way out. Do it. Come on, do it. Order her around with that lovely scowl of yours. Kyoko-san's face darkened. I guess I had gone a little too far with the joke.
義務で10日の自由を奪ってしまったわ。苦しめてしまった。
She growls to no one in particular. Well, aren't we angsty?
やっぱり血のつながった母親のもとに返すべきよね。
Where the hell is your confidence, Kyoko-san? Haven't you guys been getting along great recently?
だって
Well, if I took Kyoko-san's past into consideration, I could sort of understand where she was coming from.
何と言われようとも私は10日を傷つけてしまったから。
You mean to burn?
そう。やけどを負わせてしまったのは私だし。
It was an accident. There's nothing you could have done about it. Her shoulders trembled slightly.
もっと私の親がちゃんとした親だったら私ももう少し10日にいい教育ができたのに。
What is this?
親のせいにしても始まらないのだけれどね。
No, it's not. I nodded, then offered Kyoko-san the same proposition that I had offered Toka earlier. How about getting some sleep? You can think about all this tomorrow. Kyoko-san looked like she had more to say, but I guess she couldn't find the words. She probably just didn't want to be left all alone. She offered me the same despondent sigh as Toka, then returned to her room. It was almost like there were two kids living here, and I was their parent.
おはよう、お母さん。
These guys are quite annoying. But I guess this is where I'm gonna end the episode. I think the next episode is probably gonna be... I think we should be able to reach the climax of this chapter. I feel like this chapter is going a bit too long, don't you think? Compared to chapter 2, which was pretty short and sweet. I don't know, I felt like chapter 2 had a bit of a long break, especially during the mountain climbing thing, right? But at least something was going on. It feels like in this one... Okay, maybe it's just a different kind of situation though, right? I guess because I'm the type that likes to see something move. I like to see something at least heading somewhere. In this one, it feels like we're stagnating, just like what Hozuki said a couple of episodes ago. I can't stand that. Stagnation is something I can't stand. It's something I struggle with. I feel it every single day in my life, and I feel like I always try to fight it off. I guess that's what this game or this chapter is trying to tell you too. Which is working, by the way, but Jesus. Doesn't feel good for me. But yeah, thank you all for watching. I probably will just take a short break. It's still early in the morning, so I can probably make another episode before I take a shower. So, I'll see you guys next time.